Have you ever looked at your life and quietly asked, why did God give me these parents? Not in anger, but in deep confusion. Why was your childhood filled with tension instead of tenderness? Why did you have to grow up so fast? Why did love sometimes feel conditional, distant, or difficult? Maybe you watched your friends laugh freely with their families while you learned to stay silent. Maybe you still feel a small ache in your heart when you remember certain words, certain moments, certain nights. And somewhere inside, a question keeps whispering, did I deserve this? It can feel unfair. It can feel lonely. You may love your parents and yet feel hurt by them at the same time. That inner conflict is heavy. You respect them, but you also carry wounds. You try to understand them, but part of you still feels unseen. And sometimes, you even feel guilty for feeling this way. But let me gently tell you something. Your question is not wrong. Your pain is not weakness. Every soul that comes to earth enters a specific family for a reason. Not by accident. Not by mistake. There is a deeper story behind your beginning. What if your parents were not given to you as a reward or punishment, but as part of a greater spiritual design? What if the very struggles you faced were shaping a strength within you that you cannot yet fully see? Before we judge our story, we must understand it. And today, let us begin that journey together, not with blame, but with awareness, compassion, and a sincere desire to see the hidden meaning behind our lives. Many people carry a silent pain that no one else can see. On the outside, life may look normal. You smile, you work, you talk politely. But inside, there is an old wound that still feels tender. The hidden problem is not only what happened in your childhood. It is what stayed inside your heart because of it. Maybe you grew up in a home where emotions were not safe. Maybe you were criticized more than you were encouraged. Maybe you were compared to others until you began to doubt your own worth. As a child, you did not have the power to understand or change your environment. You only had the power to adapt. So you became quiet, or you became strong too early, or you tried to be perfect so you would finally be loved. And without realizing it, you started building your identity around survival. The deepest conflict is this. You want to honor your parents, but you also feel hurt by them. You want to move forward, but the past still pulls you back. Sometimes you even question yourself, thinking, maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe it was my fault. But the truth is, when a child feels unseen or unloved, the heart creates protective walls. Those walls may protect you, but they also limit your joy, your confidence, and your relationships. This is the hidden problem. Not hatred, not rebellion, but unhealed confusion. And until we gently look at this pain with awareness, it continues to shape our decisions, our fears, and even the way we love. When we begin to ask why this happens, we must look deeper than surface behavior. Spiritually, life is not random. You were not placed into your family by accident. Your soul carries tendencies, lessons, and unfinished emotions long before this present story began. From a higher perspective, every relationship is a sacred classroom. Your parents became your first teachers, not only through their kindness, but also through their limitations. Psychologically, a child absorbs everything. The tone of a voice, the presence or absence of affection, the way conflict was handled, all these quietly shaped your inner world. If love was warm and steady, you learned trust. If love was unpredictable or distant, you learned caution. The mind does not question in childhood. It simply records. And later in life, those early recordings play again and again in your thoughts, your reactions, your relationships. Spiritually speaking, souls are drawn together to grow. Sometimes growth comes through comfort. Sometimes it comes through contrast. If your parents were imperfect, it does not mean you were unloved by the universe. It may mean your soul came to develop strength, discernment, independence, or compassion. Pain often awakens awareness faster than comfort does. This does not justify hurtful behavior, but it helps us see a larger design. When we only look with emotion, we see injustice. When we look with awareness, we begin to see purpose. And understanding purpose is the first step toward inner freedom. To understand this more deeply, we must gently explore the role of karma. Karma is often misunderstood as punishment, but it is not a system of reward and blame. It is simply the law of cause and effect, the movement of energy seeking balance. Every thought, every action, every emotional bond leaves an impression on the soul. These impressions do not disappear. They wait for completion, for healing, for understanding. When a soul is born, it does not begin from zero. It carries tendencies, attractions, fears, and unfinished lessons. Your parents are not randomly chosen figures in this journey. They are souls connected to your own soul's evolution. Sometimes the connection is harmonious, and sometimes it is challenging. But both serve growth. If there was impatience in you, life may bring you a parent who tests your patience. If there was dependence, life may bring circumstances that push you toward independence. Karma does not come to hurt you. It comes to awaken you. It places you in situations where your hidden patterns become visible. And once a pattern becomes visible, it can be transformed. Destiny is not a fixed prison. It is a starting point. The real power lies in how you respond. When you react unconsciously, the karmic cycle continues. When you respond with awareness, the cycle begins to dissolve. In this way, your parents may not only be part of your past, but part of your soul's sacred agreement to help you rise higher than before. If you look honestly at your life, you may begin to notice certain repeating signs. These signs are gentle clues showing how your early experiences still live inside you. For example, do you find yourself constantly trying to prove your worth? Do you feel anxious when someone raises their voice? Do you fear abandonment, even when there is no real danger? These reactions often do not come from the present moment. They come from old memories stored in the heart. A child who was rarely praised may grow into an adult who works endlessly, hoping someone will finally say, "You are enough." A child who felt controlled may struggle to trust others or may resist authority strongly. Someone who did not receive emotional warmth may find it difficult to express feelings openly. You may even notice that you attract relationships that feel strangely familiar, partners who behave like your mother or father in subtle ways. This is not coincidence. The mind seeks what is familiar, even if it was painful. It repeats the pattern, hoping for a different ending. These real-life situations are not signs that you are broken. They are signs that something inside is asking for healing. When you become aware of these patterns without judging yourself, something powerful begins to happen. Instead of blaming your parents or blaming yourself, you start observing. And observation creates space. In that space, transformation becomes possible. What once felt like fate begins to look like a lesson waiting to be understood. Healing begins the moment you decide that your peace is more important than your pain. It does not start with changing your parents. It starts with changing your understanding. Many people wait their whole lives for an apology, for recognition, for their parents to finally say, "I was wrong." But sometimes that moment never comes. If your healing depends on their transformation, you may remain stuck. True healing is an inner decision. First, gently accept that your parents were human beings with their own fears, wounds, and limitations. They may have given you what they themselves received, nothing more, nothing less. This does not excuse hurtful behavior, but it helps you release unrealistic expectations. Second, begin to give yourself what you once needed. If you lacked encouragement, start speaking kindly to yourself. If you lacked emotional safety, create healthy boundaries now. Learn to say no without guilt. Learn to rest without feeling lazy. This is called reparenting yourself with awareness. Third, practice forgiveness slowly and honestly. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is choosing not to carry the weight any longer. You are not freeing them. You are freeing your own heart. And finally, Respond wisely instead of reacting emotionally. When old triggers arise, pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, am I responding from my present strength or from my past wound? Each conscious response weakens the old karmic pattern. Each moment of awareness builds a new future. Healing is not instant, but every small step is sacred. At the deepest level, this journey is not only about your parents. It is about your awakening. One day, after enough reflection, you may begin to see your story differently. You may realize that the pain you once resisted actually shaped your strength. The loneliness you felt pushed you to search for deeper meaning. The lack of understanding from others guided you toward understanding yourself. This is the hidden spiritual lesson. Your parents were not meant to define your limits. They were part of the path that would lead you beyond those limits. When you stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? Something shifts inside. You move from victim to seeker, from blame to awareness, from unconscious reaction to conscious growth. And in that shift, destiny changes. The karmic chain that may have continued for generations can end with you. When you choose healing, you do not only heal yourself, you heal the energy that flows through your family line. You become the one who transforms pain into wisdom. You become the one who brings compassion where there was once confusion. This is awakening. It is not loud or dramatic. It is quiet clarity. It is the moment you understand that your soul is greater than your circumstances. And when that understanding settles into your heart, you no longer feel cursed by your beginnings. You feel strengthened by them. As we come to the end of this reflection, take a slow, gentle breath and place your hand on your heart. Your story is not an accident. Your childhood was not random. Every joy and every wound carried a lesson that shaped your inner strength. Perhaps today, you no longer see your parents only as the source of pain, but as part of a deeper journey of awakening. This understanding does not erase the past, but it gives it meaning. And when pain finds meaning, it begins to transform into wisdom. Remember, you are not here to repeat unconscious patterns. You are here to rise above them. You are here to bring awareness where there was confusion, love where there was hurt, and peace where there was inner conflict. If this message touched your heart in any way, I gently invite you to write a comment below. Share your experience, your realization, or even a small insight you gained today. Your words may help someone else feel less alone. And I would truly love to know, what topic would you like to explore next on this journey of spiritual growth? Is there a question about karma, relationships, destiny, or inner healing that is waiting in your heart? Tell me in the comments, and we will walk that path together in the next video. If you feel this content brings light and clarity into your life, you may subscribe and share it with someone who needs quiet guidance. Let us grow as a community of sincere seekers, supporting one another with compassion and awareness. May peace settle in your heart, may understanding guide your mind, and may your soul continue to awaken. Jai Gurudev.